Wife is upset I don't trust her, is having second thoughts about the baby. WS is upset I don't trust her completely after her infidelity, though we are reconciling. She is pregnant and asked me about trust and I told her it takes time. She did not have a great reaction to this and is scared about the future and having a baby. I kind of hate having to recap this situation, but to avoid some common questions I will. My 27M wife Amy 30F had an infidelity episode. We have been together for almost 7 years I believe. Since college, we got married a year or so after. It's a long and frankly tiring story to repeat. But I'm aware my behavior needs context. To start, she lost weight, in her words, felt attractive for the first time in her life. She has always been pretty, but was mostly into the whole body positivity movement, till we started losing weight due to a medical concern. She and her friends started showing themselves online to strangers behind my back and my wife got addicted to the attention. When her friend tried to get her to calm it down as she started going too far, doing private cams, sing, and accepting money from folks for private streams, she apparently didn't listen. I knew something was up with the lying, secrecy, gaslighting and all that, but the final straw was overhearing a convo between Mimi 30F and Amy where Mimi told her she was taking things too far and that she was going over the line, but I wasn't sure how or what it was about. And Mimi threatened to tell me herself if Amy didn't talk to me. I never thought at the time, but looking back, someone else would have considered this a sign that Amy was cheating on me with Mimi. I mean, they kind of were. But given our sexual history with Mimi, that was neither a question or an alarm. I confronted Mimi while Amy was at work telling her she and Amy can come get her stuff and Mimi spilled the beans, and told me the fight was because Mimi, who has an of, warned Amy not to talk to people privately, do private cams, or any of that. And she had found Amy doing that behind her back and a particular fan was getting very insistent and offered Amy a huge chunk of money to do more. He had sent the money. Amy told Mimi that she had not intention of cheating though she basically already was. And that she would just keep the guy's money, something like $5,000, as it was sent to her PayPal as a gift. And she never agreed to it. But she had been caming for the guy and essing with him. To wrap up the recap, I was furious, and confronted my wife. Heard her side of the story. Because we are definitely not hurting for money by even the most liberal stretch of the imagination. Found out from her that it had nothing to do with sexual gratification or wanting to duck other guys, which she claimed she didn't, or me or my performance as a lover or a partner. She had got addicted to the attention. The gratification. The fact that these people desired her enough to pay to see it and all that. I took my leave of the house for about 4 months, left the state. Everyone went to therapy. We ended up deciding to reconcile, and it was a long process to get back to anything close to me not being randomly feeling betrayed, angry, and disgusted. I will go on record saying Mimi and Amy's sisters, Sissy, are both thin and attractive, but in my opinion neither are as attractive as my wife. At least not to me. My wife is very pretty, just was a bigger girl. Since I've always encouraged her, shared my love for her, and never disparaged her weight. I was blindsided by her body issues. As she was always aggressively pro-big girls, before this. And frankly, as a sexual being I prefer my ladies to have some meat on their bones. My wife checked all my buttons, so I wasn't sure at first where all this self-loathing was coming from. Spent a lot of time angry and blaming myself before finding out the truth. She hid it from me cause she didn't want to be one of those depressing fat girls. And thought apparently if she didn't say anything I would just keeping on, and not move on to anyone better. I asked the fact that I loved her, married her, moved halfway across the country away from all my friends and family, bought her a huge house, and worked tirelessly to make her happy wasn't enough to show that I loved her. She told me that loving her and being attracted to her are two different things. Frankly, it is a nightmare dealing with my own hate and sense of betrayal, and wanting to help my wife through this mental weight that has had her down her entire life it seems. It's not easy, but I've been managing, through therapy, honesty, and finding out some truths. I've come to terms with a lot of my wife's insecurities. None of it excuses her behavior, but I'll give some highlights. She was bullied by her thin sister most of her life for being big. After being overweight killed their mother. I didn't know her stepmother was not their real mother till now. She had always been sore that I had liked her sister before we got together, and thought I settled for her. And thought that all my support, love, and encouragement Was just what I had to do cause I was stuck with the consolation prize. There are some more, but basically, she spent the entire relationship feeling like a charity case or something. With that out of the way. Current situation. Amy is pregnant, before you ask, yes, got a paternity test as soon as it was viable. Things have been going well between us after a really rough time. Intimacy was hard for me. Even returning to my home took me time. Sleeping in the same room was a no-go for almost a year, but I feel like we've turned a corner. I'm not as certain that I'm an idiot waiting for my wife to betray me again. The problem was that things were going well and Amy's worked hard and is doing all the right things. And has for quite some time. Now she's pregnant and emotional and seems to be very happy, though fussy about a lot of stuff. Randomly she sat down while I was working and apologized again. She has been apologizing for a while like this, so I didn't think anything of it. She starts crying and says she almost ruined us. And that she wants to be a good mom and a better wife. She laments her actions and talks to me some more about her fears coming up. The fact that the video she put online can come back to bite her at any time and may make her life miserable at any moment. She talks about how stupid she was and how sorry she was, and how she's so happy that she was given another chance. How she knows she doesn't deserve it, or me, but that she is happy that I found it in my heart not to abandon her. She then says something that irked me. She said she was happy that I trusted her enough to try. I stopped, because that was the first thing she said that felt wrong. It must have shown on my face, so she asked me what. I shrugged and told her thank you, and said it's going to be difficult, for everyone, but I've made the decision to try and make it work, because I love her. She picks up on the evasive answer and asked me again what the problem was. I looked at her and told her that trust takes time. I then told her that once you break something, no matter how much care you put into gluing it back together, it will never be whole again. It will never be what it was. You lose flakes, little dust particles, pieces that made it what it was. And when you sit it down, even if you got it looking exactly like it should, you're careful, cause you know it can break easier the next time. Amy asks if that means she's never going to live down what she did. I told her I didn't know, that I hoped so. But that's all I had, was hope. She asked if that meant I would never trust her again. I told her I don't know. Trust takes time. Right now I have hope that things will be better. But as far as faith and trust, I simply can't have faith and I don't completely trust anyone anymore. I told her that statistically speaking, it was far more likely that she'd cheat on me or betray me, than that everything is good from now on. Most people who commit infidelities are repeat offenders. And most people who reconcile find out later that their spouse just got better at hiding their illicit activities. She found a reason once to lie to me, to betray me, to gaslight me, to put our entire relationship at risk. And it wasn't hard to find some justification. I told her the mind is an amazing tool and that people can justify a lot of things. I hope we make it and everything will be okay. I love her and have chosen to take the risk, but I'm not in a position to offer my trust, and I'm just not the kind of person who has strong faith in things I can't quantify. All the data is telling me I'm a moron and that having a child with her is probably a mistake I will end up sorely regretting. Forgiving a cheater seems to be, but I love her and she seems sincere, so I'm betting against the odds. I hope the trust returns, but it takes time. In the meantime, she has all my hopes. She did not take this well. At all. In fact, she started ugly crying. I didn't know what to say to her, so I just held her. She then asks if I don't trust her, then am I even happy about the baby? I told her yes. Regardless of her or I'm gonna love my kid no matter what. We certainly weren't trying for a baby, but I'm all on board with being a dad. She asks if I think I'm stupid for having a child with her. I answer that all evidence points to that being the case. I hope I'm not, but again, the odds are not in my favor. She took this even worse. She asks why not just have an abortion, why subject me to this if I don't have faith in us. I told her that faith isn't easy and trust takes time. I got hope. That's about it right now. That it will take more time and we're just on the journey. Hopefully we'll get there together. Amy got quiet and then began sobbing. She left the room and locked herself in her office. I checked on her several times, but she was just crying. Then her mother came to get her, hugged me, and told me she will sort it out. Amy's been at her parents' house for 2 days. I've called. I'm hearing Amy is having second thoughts about the baby, though we are almost 4 months into the pregnancy. I've come by her house to drop off food I cooked for her, but Amy cries every time she sees me now. So I just give it to her father and leave. I'm being told that it's just hormones and that everything will be okay. Amy's therapist is on vacation, and I can't wait for her to get back. What am I supposed to do her? I'm trying to be honest and supportive. I've had to balance my own feelings and hers for so long now, and now that she's pregnant, am I expected to get over it? Hey, you chose to reconcile so you can't have those feelings anymore? The situation seems delicate and I have all the tact of a rampaging elephant. What can I do here? How do I make this woman feel better without lying to her? Do I have to suck it up and pretend I don't have fears and doubts? I do. I'm scared shitless that the next time she's depressed she'll do something crazy to make herself feel better. I also have the nagging doubts in my head given how most of these stories have ended on Reddit. I'm not ready to throw in the towel. I made my decision. I am reconciling and we are having a baby. We are staying married and I do love this woman with all my heart. But I do not trust her with that heart. I just need some advice on how to navigate these emotions. You say this child wasn't planned. Do you really want a baby with someone you don't trust? Because your baby will tie you to that person for the next 18 years. Many of the people who decide to do reconciliation do it for the kids. I didn't decide on it for the kids. Kid was not in the picture when we began reconciling. I'm thrilled to be a father. One of the most poignant, honest, well-written things I have read on here. She should be thankful that you are not just telling her what she wants to hear. A part of the process is to really understand and acknowledge the pain and hurt she has caused. You are right that a baby won't fix it, words won't fix it, only time and actions will. You are not walking around looking at your life through rose-colored glasses, and that is what she needs to do also. Good luck.